Generative AI, it can really feel like magic, right? But it's not just one single trick. It's actually built on a handful of core blueprints. Think of them as these distinct architectural ideas that give AI all its creative power. So today, we're going to break down the 4 fundamental designs that allow these machines to generate, well, everything we see.
And look, these aren't just some abstract high-level concepts. No way. These blueprints are the actual engines driving the tools that are changing our world right now. We're talking about everything from the incredible AI-generated art you see online to the chatbot that helps you write emails and even super complex simulations that are speeding up scientific discovery.
So, that brings us to the big question, right? What exactly are these big ideas powering our creative machines? We're going to peel back the layers and look at the fundamental principles that let these AIs learn, understand, and generate content that feels, well, so incredibly human. All right, first up, we've got the Variational Autoencoder, or VAE for short. Now, I like to think of this one as a really diligent apprentice. Its main job? To learn how to perfectly summarize something and then recreate it just from its own notes. So the key thing to get here is that a VAE is a probabilistic model. What does that mean? Well, instead of just making a perfect copy of an image, it learns to represent it as kind of like a cloud of possibilities inside its memory. This memory is what we call a latent space, and that's exactly what gives it so much flexibility. The whole process is really a cycle. First, you have the encoder. Think of it like a camera that takes an image and compresses it down into a tiny summary in that latent space, almost like a super well-organized library of concepts. Then you have the decoder, which acts like an artist. It pulls from that library to reconstruct the original image. It's this full loop of understanding and then recreating. And this smooth, organized latent space, that's the VAE's big strength. It lets us do cool things like blend concepts together, morphing one face into another. But what's the downside? Well, VAEs tend to play it safe. They aim for an average representation of things, and that's why their creations can often end up looking a little bit blurry or fuzzy. So yeah, VAEs are great at understanding the structure of things, but they just don't have that edge for photorealism. So how do we get sharper, more realistic results? To solve this whole blurriness problem, researchers had this really clever idea. What if instead of having one model working all by itself, we made 2 models compete with each other? And that brings us to our next blueprint, Generative Adversarial Networks, or GANs. So forget the lone apprentice. Now I want you to picture 2 rivals, like a master art forger and a super sharp-eyed detective, locked in this constant battle to outsmart each other. And that right there is the core idea. You have 2 neural networks, and they have completely opposing goals. It's this adversarial process, this constant competition, that pushes the whole system to achieve these incredibly high levels of realism. Okay, so here's how it actually works. The generator, that's our forger. Its whole goal is to create fake images that are so good they're indistinguishable from the real thing. And the discriminator, that's our detective, and it's constantly training to spot even the tiniest flaw. So every single time the discriminator catches a fake, the generator is forced to get better. It creates this arms race toward perfection. Now, this rivalry produces some stunning results. It's the tech behind those photorealistic faces of people who don't even exist, and cool stuff like style transfer. But, and this is a big but, this high-stakes game is really hard to manage. Training is notoriously unstable, and sometimes the generator just finds a few cheap tricks that always fool the discriminator, so it just keeps repeating them over and over. This is something called mode collapse, and it basically leads to a total lack of variety in what it creates.
So to get past that instability problem with GANs, our next model takes a completely different, much more methodical approach. Let's talk about diffusion models, which are pretty much the current state of the art. I like to think of this one as a master sculptor who starts with just a block of pure noise and slowly, carefully carves out a masterpiece.
The concept here is it's beautifully elegant. See, instead of trying to create a perfect image from scratch all in one shot, a diffusion model learns a much simpler task: how to clean up an image. It literally just learns how to remove noise one tiny step at a time. So the process works in 2 stages. First, during the training phase, you take a perfectly clean image and you just gradually add noise to it until it's nothing but pure static. Then, you train a neural network to do the exact opposite, to start with that static and carefully, step by step, remove the noise until a perfect image emerges from it.
And this super methodical process, this is what's powering the tools you've definitely heard of, like DALL-E and Stable Diffusion. It produces these stunningly high-quality images, and it's way more stable to train than GANs. So what's the catch? Well, the trade-off is that all those tiny little steps make it a really slow and computationally expensive process.
Okay, on to our final blueprint. And this one. This one is arguably the most influential architecture in all of modern AI. Let's talk about the transformer. I call it the master linguist, because its superpower, its whole deal, is understanding context.
So while most of the other models we've talked about were kind of born from the world of images, transformers came from the world of language. Their original goal was simple: understand how words in a sentence relate to each other, no matter how far apart they are. And it turns out this ability to grasp these long-range relationships was absolutely revolutionary.
The breakthrough, the secret sauce here, is a mechanism called self-attention. It basically lets the model look at an entire sentence all at once, and for every single word, it weighs its importance in relation to every other word. This ability to instantly see the full context, well, that's what makes it so unbelievably powerful.
And this is exactly why transformers are the ultimate all-arounders. I mean, they're what power ChatGPT. They can generate computer code, and now when you apply that same logic to pixels instead of words, they're at the very forefront of image understanding too. Honestly, their scalability and versatility are just unmatched.
So there you have it, our 4 blueprints: the apprentice, the rivals, the sculptor, and the master linguist. For an AI architect, the real challenge isn't just knowing how each of them works, but figuring out how to choose the right tool for the right job.
This table really lays out the trade-offs perfectly. Let's run through it. If you need a structured way to organize your data, a VAE is your best bet. For pure, jaw-dropping photorealism, GANs are a powerful, if a little unstable, choice. For the absolute best quality, no questions asked, you go with Diffusion. And for pretty much any task that involves context and massive scale, yeah, the transformer is king.
And remember, this isn't just theory we're talking about. These architectures are actively out there reshaping our world as we speak. In healthcare, they're helping to discover new drugs. In entertainment, they're creating entirely new forms of content. They are fast becoming the fundamental building blocks across every major industry you can think of.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating thought. We've built machines that can perfectly replicate our world. But as they get better and better, they're moving beyond just replication, and they're starting to generate truly novel ideas. So the question is no longer if they can create. The real question is, what will they create next?